Hi, I am Dr. J.P. Silvera from TaylorMade Health and Wellness, and I want to tell you about a patient I saw last week because her story is more common than most people realize. She came in a few days after a rear end collision. Nothing dramatic. Someone tapped her at a light, the airbags never deployed. She stepped out of the car, checked the bumper, exchanged information, and drove herself home. She felt completely fine. No headache, no pain, no stiffness. She almost did not call us at all. By the time she sat down in our office 3 days later, she could not rotate her neck more than a few degrees to the right. Here is why that happens and why it matters to you even if you have never been in an accident, because statistically, you probably will be at some point. When your body goes through a collision, even a low speed one, your neck absorbs a force it was never designed to handle. The muscles and ligaments strain, small tears form in the soft tissue, and your body immediately floods your system with adrenaline. That adrenaline is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. It is protecting you from feeling pain in a moment when you need to function. The problem is that it is also lying to you. It tells you that you are fine when your body is quietly beginning to inflame. That inflammation peaks somewhere between 24 and 72 hours after the crash, which means the day you feel okay is usually the day before the day you do not. So people do what feels logical. They go home, they rest, they take some ibuprofen, they wait, and when the pain finally shows up, some of them assume it will just go away on its own. Sometimes it does, but untreated soft tissue injuries from auto accidents are one of the most common causes of chronic neck pain we see in practice, not because the original injury was catastrophic, but because it was ignored long enough to become a problem the body could not fully resolve on its own. When she came in, we did a full examination. We looked at her range of motion, assessed which muscles and joints were involved, and explained everything we found to her in plain language. Not clinical jargon, not a rushed summary before we handed her a treatment plan. We actually sat with her and walked through what was happening in her neck, what we could help with, and what recovery would look like in real terms. That last part is something I want to be direct about because I think it is where a lot of patients get let down by their experience with any provider. There are things chiropractic care is very effective for after an auto accident. Restoring range of motion, reducing the muscle tension and spasm that follows soft tissue trauma, addressing the mechanical dysfunction in the joints of the cervical spine, and helping the body move through the recovery process instead of compensating around it. That is our lane, and we are good at it. There are also things that fall outside that lane. If we find a red flag in your examination, a finding that suggests a fracture, nerve compression that needs imaging, or something that requires another specialist, we will tell you that directly and make sure you get to the right person. We do not manage patients outside our scope to keep them on our schedule. We say what we see, and we refer when we should. That is how trust works. For patients here in Florida, there is something important you should know about the insurance side of this because it stops a lot of people from getting evaluated when they should. Florida is a PIP state, personal injury protection insurance. If you are in an auto accident, your own auto insurance is required to cover up to $10,000 in medical expenses, and that coverage applies to chiropractic care. The one rule that matters is timing. You have to seek treatment within 14 days of the accident for the coverage to apply. Miss that window and the coverage is gone. At TaylorMade Health and Wellness, we bill PIP directly in the large majority of cases. You do not have to figure out the insurance process yourself. You do not have to front the money and wait for reimbursement. And in most cases, there is nothing out of pocket for you. We handle the paperwork. We also see patients in both English and Spanish. And for our Spanish-speaking patients, the easiest way to reach us is through WhatsApp. We made that process as simple as possible because we know the last thing you need after an accident is a complicated phone tree or a long wait to speak with someone who understands you. So let me leave you with this because I think it is the most important thing I have said in the last several minutes. The patient I mentioned at the start of this video almost did not come in. She felt fine. She had things to do. She did not want to make a big deal out of it.